And welcome to Revent. Today we have SHERRELL Moore-Tucker. SHERRELL, thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Could you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Just a little bit.
Oh, let me try to narrow it down. So I consider myself, I'm an author, a speaker. I love presenting and sharing information. So I believe along with speaking, I'm an educator. I'm also a wellness professional, providing helpful information about yoga, meditation, breathing, helping people to really understand the mind-body dynamics and how powerful it truly is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What got you started into this? Tell us a little bit about that, your journey.
It's still a journey. I started out, so I started out in this mind-body modality with finding yoga. And so what brought me to the practice was, it seems like a lifetime ago, but I was in the Army. I was stationed in Fort Rucker, Alabama, and I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis, which was, at the time, it felt very debilitating. So I was having issues with walking, stiffness, tightness in the back. And for someone that was very active, you know, I was a cheerleader, I ran track in school, and never really faced any major health challenges until arthritis struck. And so trying to deal with it from a more holistic standpoint, I wasn't really a proponent of a lot of medicines and different things like that. Never really took a lot of medicine or pills. And so my primary care doctor recommended that I try yoga. And I have to really be honest with you. So in my early 20s, when it was recommended, I tried the class and I absolutely hated it. It was slow, I didn't get it, and it just didn't resonate with me. And so I continue, unfortunately, to live with a lot of the pain that I described. And it was probably maybe about 3-4 years later, I moved to the DC area and I found a studio that resonated with my spirit and became a yogi and began to dive into the world of mind-body wellness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So with all of those stresses that you've endured and encountered, what was the unique strategy? Was there any unique strategy that allowed you to overcome those? Because a lot of businesses and a lot of people go through a lot of struggle.
Yes.
How did you overcome that?
As a business owner or as just a yogi?
Both.
Both, okay.
Right.
So I guess as I began to practice yoga, I realized that what initially drew me to the practice was trying to alleviate the physical pain. But what I found was that there was a lot more to it. There was the connection with being able to slow down, the breathing was awesome, and so I began to change my mindset. So that was a strategy that I took. That was after a few years of practicing yoga, and I began to not only feel better in my physical body, but mentally as well, because emotional health and well-being is very important, almost just as important as physical well-being. And so from an entrepreneur standpoint, this has definitely been a journey. I never saw myself being an entrepreneur, but it's been a really good journey. And I find one thing that I hold on to, even when I'm facing challenges and I get frustrated, is to set your intention. What is your intention for this? Is your intention to serve? Is it to make money? Is it to gain more notoriety? Whatever it is, be clear on what your intention is, and that I believe that will allow you to move forward in your journey.
That is great. I believe that as well. And so with your business and entrepreneurship and your journey, what is unique about what you do that is different from what other people are doing now?
I mean, there are lots of yoga instructors out there. I mean, yoga is booming here in the United States. I would probably say over the past 5 to 10 years, you see yoga in studios, community centers, everywhere. And so it's very easy to kind of lump everything together. But I see myself as more than just a yoga instructor, and some people like to lump it in the category of fitness, but I consider myself an educator and someone that is really in the community trying to bring more awareness, not just to yoga, but the power of the mind-body connection, which is something that a lot of people that are facing health challenges can identify with, whether you're someone or you know of someone that is facing diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or just dealing with a high-stress job. I believe what is unique about me is that I have a story to tell, which is why I came into the mind-body arena. I was someone that was a very type A personality, so I tell this story and I have to just kind of laugh at myself, but I remember being 13, 14 years old, very type A, having a list already at that young age of, I got to go to college, I got to get married, I got to get this house, and really just living in the future, not living in the present moment. And so with that, everything looked like I had it together on paper, but falling apart in the inside. Not really taking care of myself, not just physically, because I was always someone that moved, whether it was dance, track, what have you, but not taking care of my emotional and mental state of mind and well-being. So just pushing myself beyond the limits. And so with that, I bring to the mat a story. I bring to colleges, universities, wherever I'm allowed to speak and share, I bring that story with me and allow that to propel the conversation in my ability to just share how powerful the mind-body modality is in whatever you're facing, whether it's your job, whether it's a health challenge, social trauma. That's what makes me different.
That is a beautiful story.
Thank you. It didn't feel so beautiful while I was going through it, but you know.
Yeah, you know, it's always difficult through the storm, but as you work your way out of it, you know, the sun is always shining at the end of the day. Now, with this story, what is the impact and what are people saying about your program and your business and everything you've done? Because what we like to do here, we like to understand what impact does businesses and entrepreneurs have on the community that they serve?
Well, you know, when I first started in this kind of wellness business, it was my initial goal to, you know, kind of just teach classes, to bring a familiar face to yoga, bring a little bit more diversity to yoga so that maybe I would look like someone that they could identify with, like, oh, she looks like my sister or someone from my family, because that's really where it starts when you're starting anything new. You have to be able to resonate with that person. Something about them draws you. So in the beginning, it was all about just teaching classes. And what I found was, especially in underprivileged communities, that there wasn't a lot of awareness around yoga, and that began to move me into not just teaching classes but speaking, educating, and sharing. And so that has become like the heart of what I do. Of course, I teach community classes where people can come in and get a great class, but it's really about how I feel like I'm able to impact my community is through sharing and education and providing a safe space and environment for people to learn more about yoga, meditation, and breathing, and not be turned off by myths or things that they've heard, and actually have an open forum for people to ask questions. And that's been really the heart of what I do.
Did that lead you into creating this fantastic shirt
here? This is Breathe In, Stress Out. That's really what it's all about with my business. And every time I wear this shirt, people, they actually breathe in and stress out. And it reminds you of how the breath can be the anchor. And my pastor, Dr. Weaver, he says this beautifully: the more you breathe, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the more you breathe. And it really is just that simple. It's learning that stress is something that can be managed. It's something that is a part of our everyday lives. Even kids, when I teach yoga to kids, I'm like, are you guys stressed out? And they're like, I'm stressed out. And I'm like, really? At 5 years old, and kids have stressors, adults have stressors. And so it's being able to harness the breath, being able to take hold of what you have already within your wheelhouse, and being able to use that to have a positive influence on the mind as well as the body. And it's a simple concept, and people kind of understand it. You know, a lot of times yoga, meditation, all of that can be very daunting for some people. It can seem like you need some type of degree or something to understand it. But being able to breathe in and stress out is really a simple concept that I believe resonates with a lot of people. And I really just try to allow this to be the forefront of what I do, and then add on to it as I get to know people and provide more education that way.
That is phenomenal. Yeah. Could you walk us through one of your classes?
Wow. Yeah. So all of the classes I feel like are kind of different, but I feel like a common theme is you're going to get plenty of opportunity to just settle into yourself, be quiet, and we're going to focus on breath work. So that's really one of the the things that I spend a lot of time with. Many people come to a yoga class and they think that I'm going to turn them into a pretzel, or they already come into class saying, wait a minute, you know, I can't touch my toes, I'm not really sure. But we really just start with the breathing. So in order to challenge yourself with various poses, the mind and the body have to first be in a posture where it's relaxed. And so we work on breathing, we work on allowing the body to relax, we set an intention and do a little bit of centering and meditation, and then we move into the movement part, the physical movement. But it's really first important to really harness the movement of the breath. That's really the most powerful movement that we all have.
Interesting. So I'm going to take a little diversion here a little bit, and I want to talk about, you know, your book, the things that you've been working on, any other thing in entrepreneurship, because we want to let people know, you know, what allowed you to go down that route, you know?
Yeah, so, you know, as I started in the wellness business, it really is built on a sense of your spirit resonating with other people and a sense of trust. Like they trust you that when they come to your class that you're going to be able to offer them something. And coming to the class is just the first step. The second step is then to open your heart to receive whatever the presenter or the instructor is offering you. And so with that in mind, I decided to write my first book called Transparent Faith, Lessons Learned from the Plan of Faith. And that was really an opportunity for me to just talk about my spiritual journey back to Christ, restoring my relationship with God, which was part of my healing process when I was dealing with osteoarthritis. And so it's not just about physical healing, but it's about emotional and spiritual healing as well, which is what living in a divine way is all about. And so I wrote the book just to give people a snippet of who I am. And with that, I was able to be led into doing a yoga DVD, Surrender, Body, Breath, and Spirit, which is a great DVD for beginners. So I meet a lot of people that are beginning a yoga practice and they want to know how to get started. And so with that in mind, that's why I created the DVD. And then as I continued, I think this was just last year, I did my first meditation CD, a Christian meditation CD. And that was because as I was teaching classes, people were like, I need your voice in my house. Like I want to hear you talking to me at the house or at work. And so I was told and feel very honored and privileged that people really resonated with my voice. And so I decided to go ahead and record and did a Christian meditation CD that really reminds you about the miracle that you are. A living, walking, talking, breathing miracle. And those are just some of my products in addition to my t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt kind of girl. So I love all kinds of t-shirts and I decided to design my own. One of them being Breathe and Stress Out, and then I have another one called Faith Filled Yoga Strong. And so those are just some of the things that I feel like are empowering for people to take the practice of yoga on the mat and take it off the mat.
So are you doing all of this by yourself? Do you have any help, any team?
Oh my gosh, I was doing it by myself for probably about 2 years, and surrounded by some amazing people, began to talk to other entrepreneurs and business owners, and they were like, you know, in order to continue to grow in your business, you're going to need help surrounding yourself with people that have certain expertise that, of course, I can learn a lot of different things, but my learning curve would be a lot longer versus getting someone to help. And so I have a team of people finally that really understand my vision, support me totally, like a social media manager. I have a business manager. I have coaches and mentors and people that pour into me as I pour out into the community, which is key when you're an entrepreneur. You do so much service. You have to have a safe space to land and to be poured into. And so I always try to create in my busy schedule an opportunity for me to be mentored, for me to be poured into as well. And so now I have people around me that have expertise and different things like that, and it's definitely taken the load off so I can focus on the things that I'm good at.
How did you go about finding and building your team? That's a lot of the struggles that small businesses have and entrepreneurs, like finding the actual people to help grow your business. How did you go about that?
Well, first I started on the internet, but also through referrals.
Okay.
So actually just being open enough to say, I need help. That's really the first step. And for the first 2 years or so, I wasn't willing to do that or even say that. I thought I just could do it all. And so the first step was admitting to myself and then admitting to other people, this is an area that I need some help in. And then referrals came. And I tried some of the referrals, some worked, some didn't.
Right.
But that's part of the learning curve of being a business owner. You have to anticipate that everything isn't going to be perfect like a type A personality perceives it to be. And then from there, I was able to learn about different things like Elance, which I believe is Upwork now, which has a lot of people with all this great knowledge and expertise to help you in your business. And that's actually where I found my social media manager from Upwork. Got a chance to interview her. We really vibed together. But the rest have really come from referrals and the internet and different platforms that people refer me to.
That is great. Definitely referrals are the best.
They are
business.
the best. They
The
are
best.
golden.
Golden. You can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
Where do you see your business in the next 5, 10 years?
I hope to see my business continue to be of service in the community, this community that I'm currently in, hoping to continue the dialogue of mind-body awareness, education, through yoga, through mindfulness, through meditation. But I also hope to have more of an online presence. So I love online. I do a lot of Facebook Lives and videos, which have been something that resonates with a lot of people. People inbox me and email me from California and different states, and they're like, I saw your video on Facebook, or I heard you talking about something that difficult that you were dealing with, and I feel like I know you. And so I want to continue that online platform, allowing it to grow, to become bigger, hopefully international one day.
What is your strategy for that?
Oh gosh, well, I tell you, I'm really good. So I'm a recovering type A personality, but this entrepreneur thing is very different for me. And so there's not really a blueprint to it. I'm kind of feeling my way through. So I lean heavily on my team to kind of keep me in check. And what I do is I outline some things that I would like to do, and then I run it by my team, and we kind of come up with a strategy together. And with that, I use their expertise, and they let me know, this is going to work, but you got to do this. You got to put in this amount of work, or let's wait a little bit longer on that. And so actually that's the process that I'm in the midst of now for 2018, being able to take it internationally, which one is, as she's already, my social media manager has already told me, do more videos. We got to get you out there more. And so with that, I have to carve out more time to do videos, more time to talk about some of the things that are near and dear to my heart, and all of that takes planning.
How do you balance like the social lifestyle, you know, your personal lifestyle, work, just everything? How do you create a balance for yourself?
You know, sometimes I'm really good at it. It'll go really well for like a month. I'm like, yeah, I'm on it. And then life will happen and something, and that's kind of my pattern. Like everything will kind of be smooth sailing for the most part, and then a monkey wrench will come in, and then I'll get off track, and it'll take me a week or two to get back on track. And so the way that I manage it is really just take it day by day. But I try to be consistent with starting with the notorious to-do list. So on Sundays, I usually lay out what I would like to do for the week, holding myself accountable to the team. And I try to carry out most of the things that are on that list. And for those things that were not carried out, I take a moment to self-reflect and ask why did I get distracted in some type of way, and then I just add it to the list for next week. But that's really what I do, even down to the smallest detail as far as going to get dry cleaning or going to the grocery store. I write everything on the list so I can see what it looks like and find out those areas that I have some time for myself personally, time to share myself personally on social media, time to write blogs, time to check my email. Like I put all of that into a list, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and that's
but
life.
That's life.
Awesome. Could you tell us a little bit about your brand equity?
So my brand equity is really this is the focus, being able to breathe in and stress out, and being able to offer this principle, this concept to businesses and corporations in a setting that really works for them. Being able to allow this to be the center, but also providing them with information that is beneficial for their businesses, whether it's increasing attendance, lowering stress levels, and increasing creativity at work. And so I believe that my brand equity is really focused on slowing down, winding down, in order to birth more creativity in whatever you're doing, more productivity. Whether you're a student or you're working in corporate, I believe that is something that is beneficial for any business.
Now, has that led into any competition that that you may have faced, or now are you facing any competition, and how do you overcome dealing with competition?
Right. I mean, competition is something that if you're a business owner, of course, it's something that's going to come up. But I believe that it's really good to be aware of your competition, but that awareness will allow you to really harness your gifts and your talents, because nobody can do you like you can do you.
Absolutely.
And so you look around, you get inspiration sometimes from your competition, you see what's going on, and then you bring that in-house and find out ways that you can utilize some of the things that resonate with you and present it in a way that feels authentic for you. And so it's definitely good to be aware of competition, what is out there. Also making sure that you're being aware of your personal development and your growth, being an expert in your field, making sure that you're staying above the brim with research, making yourself really the expert in your field and the way that you present and offer your services.
As you became an expert in the field in your yoga and your career development, what kind of consumer feedback are you receiving from your clients that has helped you improve your business?
Right. So I'm someone that I like SurveyMonkey. So that's a very easy platform to use to send out surveys anonymously, get feedback for different things that I'm looking to do in the future as it relates to videos or projects that I'm working on, asking for feedback, and then also following through with those projects and events, and afterwards finding out what worked, what didn't work for people. If they could change anything, what would they change? And so I've had an opportunity to do just that and received positive and some negative feedback. And so you take that time to sit with it, reflect, re-strategize and refocus, and come out bigger and better the next time.
Awesome. That is the best way to do it.
It is.
Could you let our viewers know and everybody know where they can find you on social media, your website, and everything else?
Awesome. So you can actually find all of my social media platforms if you go to SHERRELLMOORE-TUCKER.com. There you will find a wealth of information as far as blog posts, videos, as well as inspirational pictures and opportunities to practice with me in the community as well as online.
Awesome. Well, look, everyone, please support, follow her, add her. If you want some motivational, inspiration, entrepreneurship advice, you name it, she is the go-to person. If you need yoga tips, anything, I'm not that flexible, so I'll probably be signing up sometime. So once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.